Good morning, everybody, and welcome to An Impact on Your Health. An Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to remain at least one step to help you live better life.
Dr. Courtney, you
Okay.
can take it. You can take it.
All right, I think I'm okay now. For a moment there, I wasn't getting the right sound. I think I am now. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health. Heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Well, today we're here on a pretty special Friday. It's a always get 'em up out of town version of the show, as we try to bring you each and every Friday. Special one as it is, however, because it's just the prelude to a pretty interesting weekend coming up. This is 4th of July celebration weekend. Should mention that the show for Monday will be a repeat show. I feel so strongly about just having completed those two segments, two shows with Dr. Roy Carey, that especially the second of the two, it's got to be repeated. If you missed it, you probably were told about it by one of your friends who does listen to it. You felt bad that you missed it. Well, don't feel bad, because on Monday morning you may have to get up a little earlier than usual, but we're going to repeat the show with Roy that we did just this past Wednesday. Also, real interested to hear from you. Today we're going to open them up. The open phones version of the show is live and in play today. Anything on your mind is okay with me. We'd love to hear from you and what you thought about the two shows we just completed with thyroid with Dr. Roy Carey. I thought that they were, well, the only place you could get that information is here. Dr. Roy Carey, great mentor as he is, fine clinician, really has approached this from a perspective that I find no other doctors are really doing it that way, and I thank Dr. Carey for taking time to work with me. I'm becoming very comfortable with the same technique. So, hey, look, here, I'll listen to anything you have in your mind. It can deal with Dr. Carey's shows. It doesn't have to. Anything on your mind at all is okay with me. The number 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. And I'll give that number additionally throughout the hour. Now, looking at those who are moving to next week, of course, Monday, as I just said, going to be a repeat show. Wednesday, we'll be back live. Don't really have a guest schedule for it. Something will either come up or we'll open it up again for you at that point also. I'm going to put out a plea. Hey, those of you who listen to the stream show, I mentioned it last week, and there are a number of you. I get emails from you. I'm pretty always interested in how far away the voice in this show actually reaches. If you do listen to this show in a streamed up version, I didn't get any emails on, I got plenty of emails when you weren't hearing it right. I'm hoping that the absence of any input from you, because I asked for this last week, saying how do we come across on the streamed up version of the show, and I didn't get any emails. Now that means either you weren't listening or you're very content. If you're content, let me know, because I'm just really interested to make certain we corrected what, at least at that point, was a pretty serious problem. You weren't able to hear the guests at all. You were able to hear me, and we'll just leave it go at that. So how about emailing me back to let me know, or give us a call and let us know how we're coming across, whether that's loud and clear. Also, too, I think the first of the two shows we did with Dr. Roy Carey, we found out that it was Dr. Carey's headphones that he was using that allowed him to come across rather muffled. I'm sure you all agree with me that the show we did with him just on Wednesday It was crystal clear on that day. And so we got that one ironed out real quick. Also interested to hear, anybody take me up on my offer to rid yourselves of the bugs and the insects that plague you around your house, either outdoors or indoors? And that's a pretty interesting thing to say, outdoors also. With that Ziploc bag experiment, where you place, fill up a Ziploc bag with half water, put 4 pennies in there, just nail those things up. Just a few of them is all you need. Supposedly, it's to rid you of any bugs or little varmints that the insects can fly around that can make your experience either indoors or out rather harrowing. And I'd be interested to know how it's working for you, if any of you did try it. Also going to spend some time talking about, this is of the USA Today, talking about when it is that you're supposed to eat with respect to exercising. That was of the USA Today. And another little item we're going to be bringing up with respect to MSNBC on June 8th had something with the 9 worst places. How's it titled? The 9 worst places to put anything. And we'll go through that as the day moves on. So we've opened them up today. 9 worst places for your health. That's the way it was phrased in the MSNBC article. We've opened them up for you today. Come on in. Anything on your mind is okay with me. I'm going to take a short break. Come right back. I'm going to head to some of the things I have on my plate. You can interrupt me at any time. 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. It is open phone, free holiday show today.
We can do this. We can cut the fast food lunches. Soda, that's a lot of sugar. We could all take that evening walk. And hey, I heard a program about fruit of the spirit. What did they say? 1 ounce, the equivalent of 5 servings of fruit with herbs and minerals. We could add some to our breakfast protein shake. Fruit of the Spirit is a unique whole fruit puree. Fruit of the Spirit contains fresh fruits native to the Holy Land and alkalizing minerals from the Dead Sea. With no added sugars, Fruit of the Spirit is a unique product from 5 years of work from science-based nutritional experts. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. Fruit of the Spirit, convenient, affordable, and delicious. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health here on KHB 620 on this Friday morning. And get them up out-of-town version of the show. We've opened it up for you today. You can call up. Anything on your mind is okie dokie with me. Let me know what you thought about our 2 shows with Dr. Carey. Really would love to hear from you. Those of you streaming out there, let me know how we're coming through loud and clear. I hope. I'm assuming that's the case. Would like some confirmation on it. And you'll see how this goes today. You can interrupt me at any time. It's not an interruption at all. It's just a knock on the door, a friendly one, and I'll let you on in. We'll see what's on your mind. A couple of blurbs that I passed over the last couple of days. One is an article that came out of USA Today back on June 4th, 2010. It really has to do with, I think, an issue that I've certainly discussed many times and really had not heard any scientific perspective on, just sort of wives' tales. That is, when it comes to exercising, when do you eat? Do you eat before the exercising so you can burn it off, or do you eat after the exercising? When is it that you're supposed to eat? And looks like studies are revealing that there's an answer to this age-old question, even though there's still controversy around it. I'm finding a number of articles written to the contrary, but it seems like the body of the most recent information is this caution: don't eat before you exercise. As it turns out, a study was done with respect to cyclists, so those crazy guys on bicycles that just go everywhere. Cyclists who trained without eating without eating before they trained, burned significant more fat than those who ate just prior to exercising or cycling. And if you carry through with the explanation that was given for why, it does make some good scientific sense. Turns out, and this is pretty much well understood by most, that the main source of energy for any activity comes from carbohydrates. And muscles get their energy from carbohydrates just like every other metabolic component of the body. If you haven't eaten before exercise, your body doesn't have many carbs in reserve. And consequently, where is it going to pull from in order to get those carbohydrates? Because it still is going to demand a supply of carbohydrates for energy, whether you've supplied it in a meal that you've just consumed, or whether it may have been stored in the form of fat from quite a few previous meals that you had consumed. Where would you rather pull that energy from? Because your body's going to make a decision. Either it has some ready reserves of carbohydrates, which could essentially have come right from that meal you ate 30 minutes ago or an hour ago, or it's going to have to go hunt for some carbohydrates. And if you haven't supplied any most recently, it is actually going to go and cause the formation, a breakdown of fat to yield carbohydrates so that you can metabolize them for the activity you have in mind. So that now sheds some light on the age-old question, well, should I eat and then burn off the calories? Well, it turns out you're going to be burning off some calories, all right, from what you just ate. But if you're looking at trying to conserve your nice appearance, and you're looking to remove fat and diminish fat, which so many people who exercise are actually trying to do, then the absolute worst thing, it appears, based on science, the actual worst thing that you could do is just eat and go out and perform the activity that you had in mind. Actually, they say that probably one of the best ways of handling this entire issue, I don't know if many of you do it, I know it's very difficult for me to do this because of the time factor, but they say the best time to exercise, right in the morning before you eat breakfast. First thing out of the chute, because the homeostatic mechanisms of your body certainly would have removed any source of calories coming from the previous evening's meal by the time morning rolls around. So we thank USA Today for supplying some information on this very topic and mull it around. And of course, there are some people that get pretty queasy. They actually get to feel lightheaded if they don't eat. And I wouldn't say that in those individuals they should be trying to comply with what science may even tell them. You know your body best based on your own constitutional response to when you eat, how much you eat, when you exercise, and if you have that kind of a feedback mechanism going on for your own private metabolic issues, then you've got to adhere to them. But if asked the question, I think science has and is weighing in on when it is that you really should be consuming. Okay, another item. I thought I'd pass your way. always interested when I find lists. So I think I'm a David Letterman aficionado with that list of 10. Well, this isn't a list of 10. It's a list of 9, and it turns out I think it's pretty interesting. It's out of the MSNBC article that was published. What's the date on this one? June 8th of 2010, and it's entitled "The 9 Worst Places for Your Health." Think about where you stash things, where you put things, and it's interesting. As I went down through it, I think I picked just about every one of the wrong places to put things, and you may find yourself in a similar situation. Well, let's see what we're talking about. So number 1 here, the worst place to keep your toothbrush. And they say that the worst place to do it, you know what, not necessarily, I don't think I do meet this one, but the bathroom sink, the absolute worst place. They say there are 3.2 million microbes per square inch in the average toilet bowl, and all those germs are propelled out every time you flush. Settling on the floor, on the sink top. Keep your toothbrush behind closed doors, in the medicine cabinet, or nearby cupboard. Okay. I think about the toilet. Ooh, that's a grabber. We have to be thinking about that. And the number 2 slot, the worst place to stash sneakers and flip-flops. And the worst place possible that you can put them is exactly where I put them, the bedroom closet. Turns out they say, not there. Shoes track in allergens and contaminants. Leave your shoes by the front door. I guess occasionally opening and closing the door is going to allow the dispersal of these and more than likely allow them to exit the home as opposed to being an ideal place for them to accumulate in your closet. Number 3, worst place to fall asleep. And you know what, not so much now, but they say the worst place to fall asleep is under piles of blankets. Being overheated can keep you from sleeping. Let your feet stick out from under the blankets. That would be a weird one for me. So the list goes on now. Worst place to cool leftovers is in the refrigerator. Well, I tell you what, I think probably violate that. Placing hot leftovers directly into the fridge can cause uneven cooling and possibly food poisoning. Leave food to cool on the counter and up to an hour after cooking it, or divide it into smaller containers that can cool faster before refrigerating. Interesting point. Worst place to sit in an airplane. Where do you sit on the airplane when you get on it? The worst place, they say, to sit in on an airplane is in the rear of the plane. The tail of the plane is where you get the bumpiest ride. Sit close to as close to the wing as you can. I think I would agree with that one. And let's tell you what, I don't head for the back. I don't know about you. Worst place to set your handbag is on the kitchen counter. Tests have shown up to 10,000 bacteria per square inch on purse bottoms. Put your bag anywhere except where food is prepared or eaten. Well, that one probably is abused by most. Worst place to use a public bathroom? Think about this one. The worst place to use a public bathroom is the stall in the middle. The center stall has more bacteria. Pick a stall all the way to the left or the right. Next time you go in, you'll see the lineup now. Nobody will want to go into that middle. Worst place to keep medicine is in the medicine cabinet. The temperature in a bathroom can get well above the recommended storage temperature for many common drugs. Keep medicine somewhere cool and dry, such as the pantry. And finally, worst place to use headphones is on an airplane, train, or subway. You're probably turning the volume up too high if you're listening to headphones in these noisy environments. Listen where you don't have to blast the music to enjoy it, or consider using noise-canceling headphones. These are the 9 worst places for your health. And I thought maybe it was all of them. It's not all of them, but I think I thank them for the assistance of being able to make these decisions a little better. And I don't know how you fared. Let me know. Why don't we do this? Take another short break. We open them up when we come back to you. I'll try to go over a list of those thyroid symptoms again, because it turns out Dr. Roy and I say you can pretty much diagnose this one on your own. You don't need those fancy lab tests. We'll get back to that in just a moment. See you in a moment.
Want to help your family eat healthier? Instead of learning to disguise tofu in wondrous ways, how about some real nutritional power? If your family has the typical American palate for fries, pizza, and burgers, giving your family the blessing of good nutrition is a struggle. Fruit of the Spirit is the answer for your family's nutritional needs. Fruit of the Spirit is an all-natural, whole fruit puree made from fresh fruits native to the Holy Land with alkalizing minerals. Fruit of the Spirit was 5 years in the formulation, the work of a team of top nutritional experts with independent science to confirm its antioxidant power. 1 ounce a day provides the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits and minerals. Fruit of the Spirit is convenient, affordable,
2 callers when you come back.
Okie doke, thank you.
You bet.
The Fruit of the Spirit. Give your loved ones the blessing of good nutrition. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instruction, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you were looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to this Friday Get 'em Up Out of Town version of the show here on AIM Impact on Your Health. Of course, with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. Special days that it is. We've opened it up to you to allow you to come on in and set the agenda. Anything on your mind is okay with me. In the interim, as we're at commercial break, a couple of callers phoned in. Let's get to them right now. Let's first up, come on the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Hey, Doc.
Danville.
How you doing, man?
Hey, Danville, how are we coming across with you? Loud and clear?
Yeah, but I'm not on the internet. I'm on the phone only.
Okay, but when you last were on the internet, how did we come across with the Streamed Up show? Because you listened to it live.
Yeah, it seemed okay. The only thing is when you had the 108-year-old guy. How old was he?
Oh, yeah, that was Bernardo Lapayo. Look, that was a very difficult interview because I could hardly understand him myself, and I had a direct line to him. So it turned out when he finally came to Pittsburgh, he was a smash. Boy, he was a hit. But it was much later in the day, early in the evening, and first thing, getting anybody up out of bed at 4:30 in the morning is a little taxing. So how about you, Danville? You ready to celebrate the 4th of July in fine fashion, I hope?
Yeah, right.
Where are you taking that crowd of yours? Where are the Danvilles going on 4th of July?
The 6 kids? Let's see. Me, they want to go get fireworks. I'm not going to let them get fireworks, but I can make a couple of bombs for them if they want me to.
No. So you have to at least take them on the evening of the 4th of July.
We're
going to have it. They're
going to
have somebody spend them.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
We were talking about the chondroitin glucosamine sulfate, the MSM. Now, it says, I'm going to try another product because I don't think this thing is working too good or whatever, but these are all sulfur type compounds.
That's right. Methyl donors. That's the whole idea between with the sulfur compounds. They give up methyl groups, and methylation turns out to be a very important process in joints. It's an important process everywhere, but particularly in joints. So that's why sulfur compounds are so good, because it gives up methyl groups.
And now it must have. It says it's made out of crayfish, so I don't know. It's made out of some.
Well, that's you're probably looking at the chondroitin sulfate, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because they pick it out of chicken bones and all sorts of other, all sorts of cartilage derivatives. But by now, let's just say, Danville, I've been following your saga for quite some time. If that product was going to be helpful to you, it would be my guess that by now it should have been. And so you're very smart to go and move to another line, another product, or a whole other approach, because this methyl group donation thing isn't turning out to help you much. So I agree why you're frustrated, because you haven't seen the results.
I'm just wondering if, if there's a better product that's actually more bioavailable or whatever.
All right, well, switch around their manufacturers. But by now, certainly on the product you're taking, you should have expected that you would have some improvements by now. And if you've not, then your option, either move to another product made by somebody else, same ingredients, or just move to a whole different line.
Well, did you see on Yahoo today, they're saying, on the main page of Yahoo, and this is like a no-brainer. I mean, you don't stick your hand in the fire and don't expect to get burned. They're saying the people down in the Gulf are getting sick from swimming in the oil. No kidding.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, I think the most interesting comment I hear, and I can appreciate it, is just the odor alone. It's just so
it'll make you
pungent. They got to get sick from it. Oh my God, it's fascinating. Anyway,
benzene. Remember, that's really good for you too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Danville.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great 4th of July with those 6 kids. Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Danville has checked in. Okay, I'm getting feedback, I guess, on the streaming. Anybody else out there listening for streaming up live, please give me a call. In the interim, I hope we still have a second caller on board. Hello, welcome aboard. Come on in the store. Hello.
Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm very good. I just wanted to know, I missed just at the tail end of on Wednesday about getting rid of the little bugs. I'm going crazy here in my apartment. I don't want to spray poison anywhere.
Oh, you didn't hear my little thing about how you take care of the bugs, huh?
Just at the very end.
All right, so look, for you as well as everybody else, and I'm asking anybody out there who may have done this to let me know. I get off the internet some confirmation, at least, that when other people have tried it, they are amazed with the results. Anyway, here's what you do. Go out and get those Ziploc bags. When the ones you can hear it actually lock when you pull the tab. And you get Ziploc bags and you fill them halfway up. Now, I don't think you need the big quart ones either. They weren't saying that you need the huge ones, but fill them halfway up with water. Put 4 pennies in the water and then zip it shut. And tape them up, nail them up, tack them up, do whatever you have to in the area of concern. And what's supposed to happen, I don't think I really explained this, is the insects should just flee, just move away. And the reason that has been given is that because the eyesight of these insects, they have like multiple eyes, okay, and they get such a bombardment of light refracting from the water and the pennies that it's almost like a psychedelic thing for them. It drives them crazy. And they can't really handle that kind of a sensory input, at least if I've read the explanation for why the effectiveness is what it is. And there are people who are in an environment where there may be these insects, especially flies, I might add, whether it's an outdoor environment or an indoor environment, within a short period of time, literally within seconds to minutes, the flies are gone. Now, you tell me how it works for you, okay?
I definitely will. I'll put it up today, right now.
All right, good luck with especially on the 4th of July weekend. Have a great 4th of July, and keep listening, keep calling.
Oh, all the time.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Yeah, that's the explanation. I hope if you are especially outdoor picnicking, nothing worse than have a bunch of flies around. And, I have had the bug zappers. In fact, it's probably my most favorite way of dealing with these insects because you can actually see the little critters. I know this sounds a little deranged, but I really enjoy hearing that zap I enjoy hearing the zap, and then that bug is no longer a problem. And so I like my bug zapper Flex. But still, I mean, if this can work, and let me know if it does for you. If this can work, by all means, I want you to utilize this. It seems like a much better way to go. You don't need a whole bunch of these. You don't need a few. Nothing. So let me know how it works for you. We're here today. We've opened it up for you today. It's Open Phones Day. Anything on your mind is okie dokie with me. We did have an opportunity to spend 2 days with Dr. Roy Carey, who I consider to be, working, what it was about him? Oh, his environmental medicine certificate bears the number 32. I mean, that says pretty much all by itself what just caught my ear the moment he brought it up. He was the 32nd person to ever be conferred a degree and certificate from the environmental medicine doctors. Pretty nice group of guys. I've known them for years. I'm not really a member of environmental medicine, but Dr. Roy Carey certainly is. Number 32, by the way, on the certificate. Anyway, for 25 plus years, and he has treated thyroid disease. I heard him mention a couple thousand patients now that he's treated, and he was nice enough to share with me a few months ago his tried and true method of dealing with this. He just spent the last 2 days with us on the radio talking about this very matter, and I hope that you enjoyed it. You can go to the archives if you missed any part of it and listen to both shows, both from Monday and from Wednesday. You can also, if you're not mind getting up earlier on Monday, listen to the second of the two shows. I thought we recapped pretty good in the second show, at least the beginning. Many of the outgrowths and the pertinent and salient facts about what we covered on Monday. We began our show on Wednesday with them, and then we got into the full issue of actually how to treat. I thought that it is technique, by the way, which he claims from Dr. Dennis Wilson, as well as Dr. McDaniels. These two had the greatest influence on him. Other authors of Rhoda Barnes, a male, the name of Rhoda. Every time I say that name, it's sort of it gets me off guard. And I finally realized it was a gentleman instead of a woman. Nonetheless, Rhoda Barnes' book and the subject it hasn't always been a classic, but the treatment approach, I think, is all Dr. Roy Carey. And so we're happy to be able to be treating you out there. If you're in the north, I want to send you up to him in Portersville. And if you're in the city and south, come on and see us, those of you out there, and I'll get to some of those additional symptoms here. Right after we handle this caller, come on in the store. Hello, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dr. Courtney, I'm wondering, with this Marcellus shale going on, this water that they're using, they pump down, and then they take about half the back out, and they put it in these pools, and a lot of time it leaches into our groundwater and also into our streams and into our rivers.
You know, I don't understand this process. Explain to us the process of extracting this Marcellus coal, which is supposedly we have a whole bunch of here in Pennsylvania, right?
What they do is
clean coal. They call it clean coal.
They frac drill. They fracture the ground underneath. They drill and they frac, and then they put at least, I don't know the equation of how many gallons per gas to get up. They put water in. They draw at least 800 gallons of more water. They pump down, and they also mix a chemical, but they're because of the what they call their rights where they can't explain what's in it. They protection.
Oh, it's proprietary.
They don't tell you.
Okay.
They pumping this in, and then they take about half that water back out. As they pressurize this, the gas, it keeps the junk down there, but the gas bubbles through the natural gas, and they suck it out. But then when they take this water back out, it's mixed with this chemical, which I'm sure is a cancer-causing agent.
Well, if they don't have to tell you what it is, you gotta be suspicious about. Let's just say this: you don't have to be suspicious about whether it's harmful or not. It sounds like the chemical would not be good to have in your water.
There's cases where people have got sick and they claim it's not from what they're doing, but from what I understand now, the Monongahela River, where my water comes from, is the 9th dirtiest river in America now. And even with the reverse osmosis machines, I was wondering if you would know if that would take out whatever traces of this chemical that it's leaching into our water. If I'm safe, or do I have, even if I would get the water from the mountains now, they're fracturing up on my cabin. So I can't trust that water table either.
So you say that when they extract this liquid, after they've washed and scrubbed the coal with the chemical.
Well, what this is though, this is just natural gas. There's no coal here. They're drilling down. They're fracking. They frack the rock, the Marcellus Shale. They pump this water down, mixed with the chemical that they call it a soapy chemical, and it suppresses anything like the decay. So what leaches up is the natural gas bubbles up through this water and into the pipe, and then they're pumping natural gas out of there. So they're leaving this water, half this water back, I don't know how many, if it's 1,000 feet down, 2,000 feet down. But as they frack, they're also going through where the water table is, the rocks for the people that have the well water.
And that's
right. They're poisoning the wells. And it's happening. I mean, it's happening in Lawrenceville, Baldwin. It's all around here now.
Well, what I can say is that of all the water purification systems, I think the Cadillac has always been the RO, reverse osmosis.
Yeah.
And to the extent that it's the most cumbersome way. You say you have an RO unit for your home or wherever you are?
I want to buy one, but I want to make sure what I buy, I don't really care the cost, that it is going to take everything out, even if I have to put trace minerals back into my water.
You will have to do it. It is a pretty effective way of cleaning up any water, and if you figure that the tap water that the city water folks have to put up with literally is purified coming from, I hate to say this, from somebody's toilet that the month before, and that they're not using reverse osmosis units to treat this stuff. Reverse osmosis, what happens is such a trickle that you get small amounts of water because the membranes are so non-permeable that whatever liquid gets through, everything should be filtered out. So RO would be a perfectly acceptable way of cleaning up anything. And I think even in your case with these chemicals, it's got to be the way to go.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that was the best lesson I ever had on Marcellus coal and fractionalizing it. I just didn't realize that in the process, contamination of well water for all those folks who live on the mountains is a natural consequence from these big companies doing it. All right, you see how we were working it here? It's a Friday, a get 'em up out of town version of the show. You can call up. Anything on your mind is okay with me. 412-825-6262 is the number. Why don't we take a short break? In the interim, hey, you just may decide that you want to call us up. Those of you out there listening and the streaming up live, give me a call, find out how we're coming across to you. Anything, did you try, anybody that tried the Ziploc bag way of taking insects out of your equation around your house? Be interested in hearing from you too. I didn't put any bags up yet. Be back in a moment.
Have you been to the doctor lately? Was fatigue top of your complaint list? Even if your doctor asks you what you eat, the recommended 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day is a dream in your busy schedule. What if you learned of a product 5 years in the formulation that delivers 5 servings of fruits and minerals in just 1 ounce? That's right, it's Fruit of the Spirit. The blessings of Fruit of the Spirit are now formulated into a delicious whole fruit puree product rich in antioxidants and minerals. Your health is more than just a test result. It's a balance of physical
when you return.
You got a caller there?
We do indeed.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Help cover your nutritional needs in a convenient and cost-effective ounce a day. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. Fruit of the Spirit, 5 servings of fruits and minerals with no added sugars. That's 1-800-442-3793 for your good health. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
For 30 years, Cornerstone Television has been spreading the good news of God's love. With original programs like Focus 4 and Origins, national programs like Joyce Meyer and Charles Stanley, and movie specials like The Wager and Luther, Cornerstone Television brings you and your family the programs that entertain and encourage. For a list of programs, Visit us on the web at www.ctvn.
Sorry about that. That wasn't supposed to air.
Oh, no problem. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Sure.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instruction, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health here on KHV 620, as we do it each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. Today, on a Friday version of the show, pre-holiday version of the show, we've opened it up to you, allowing you to come on in, set the agenda. Anything on your mind is okay with me. In the interim, we did have somebody take us up on our request, and they've called up. Let's get them on the show right now. Say good morning, hello, and welcome to you. What's on your mind?
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Question for you. My daughter has had a rash on her for 3 days, and it's not on the top layer of her skin. It's underneath. And I called her pediatrician, and they said it was Fifth disease, and it was a virus.
Fifth disease.
Yeah, F-I-F-T-H. Fifth disease.
Oh, Fifth disease. Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Fifth. Yes, I'm familiar with Fifth disease.
Okay.
And the fact that they could make that call over the phone is interesting to me, but be that as it may, if it's a viral expression, it should run its course, as I've told you, have they not?
They did. They said about a week, and it seems to be getting worse, and now she's saying it's itchy, and they told me that there's nothing that you can do, and... Well, I'm going to be careful about this, automatically assuming that making a call over the phone is awful tough. Has there been any chance? How old's your daughter? She's 8.
She's 8. And, boy, I know if my kids would show up with a rash that itched, I wouldn't be thinking Fifth disease right out of the chute, okay? There's too many things my kids could get into, no longer 8, but they're not much further advanced. They're 11 and 12 years old. I'm thinking of the poisons out there. What about poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac? Is this on a part of her body that would be easily accessed by exposure?
Well, it's funny because we started taking some walks through woods and such, and there were some weeds, but it started on her arms, on her upper arms, and they asked if it was on her cheeks. I said no, but the very next day it was on her cheeks. Now it's on her behind. Okay, it's moving apart. I got you now. So based on the distribution, they weren't thinking poison, just probably listening to this distribution. That was a fair assessment on their part. Okay. That distribution is sort of against any of the poison ivies, and so only thing I'd be careful with now is well, this is supposed to run its course. With itching, there's always a chance for secondary infections, and the secondary infections are bacterial, and those infections can be pretty intense, and they do respond. You do use antimicrobials in the sense that they can actually and will be necessary, even though the original mother lug was a virus, if you get super infections. And so look for the character of this eruption to change. Look for the oozing of either clear or slightly yellow tinged fluid. It's probably one of the hallmark signs that you're dealing with a bacteria instead of a virus. And an 8-year-old is so tough to tell them don't scratch, but that probably is the best advice I can give. At the time, and so what itches tends to be something that the itching component, if you could take it out, take it away, your daughter would be extremely benefited by it. And so there are more lotions, potions, creams whether they're conventional or whether they're alternatively minded, to try to at least take that component away. Did the doctors give you any advice with respect to what to use on them?
Nothing. They said there's nothing that you can do.
Oh, to make it go away, but plenty you can do to stop the itching.
Okay. They told me that there was nothing, and I even suggested, I said, well, can I put her in the tub with some oatmeal, some cradle oatmeal? And they said, well, really? And this was the nurse. She said, really, there's nothing that you can do for it's got to run its course. So.
Oh, it will run its course. I think the nurse was very appropriate to say nothing you can do to hasten the course of this viral infection, but there are a whole host of ways to handle, and you were thinking right, way to handle this itching component while this is running its course, and to prevent the bacterial superinfection you can get if you allow your child to scratch. Much as she would try not to, even during her sleep, I'm sure there's a potential for her to do so.
Yes.
Yeah, so, no, you use whatever, those preparations all have benefit with these itchy, scaly rashes, yet if it's viral in nature, it is going to have to run its course.
Okay, what would you suggest to put on it?
There's a time, I had poison ivy, and I had it in one arm, but I actually cleaned the lawnmower out, and so with this one hand, my right arm, from fingertips all the way up to just below the axilla, that arm was loaded with poison ivy. The other arm, nothing. And so I said to myself, geez, I'm not going to use any medicines here. And I started to use all the nostrums to try to get relief. And you know what? Every single one gave me some relief. I'll give you some of the ones. How about this one?
Okay.
I was told to put toothpaste on my arm, okay? Knock on it. By the way, it has to be the paste, not the gels, which are so commonly found nowadays.
Okay.
But the old forms of toothpaste were an excellent astringent, sort of contracts the skin, as well as they did alleviate a lot of the itching.
Okay.
I'm going to say, hey, you probably have a remedy right upstairs in the bathroom right now that you can help her with, and it would work out just fine while it's running its course, as the nurse said. I think fifth disease was a fair call, but the itching has to be dealt with. Why don't you try that toothpaste?
Yeah, sounds good. And if I could real quick, is this just something like the common cold? I mean, is this something to be alarmed about when I?
What they did do is they finally gave it its own name because it was such a frequent problem that they called it fifth disease. That's not named after any person. That's named after the fact that there were 4 other ones that actually had names. They didn't have a name for this one, so they call it the fifth disease. So there you go.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Okay. Fifth disease. Any other, by the way, any other home remedies to help this young lady out with her 8-year-old and itching? I just threw the toothpaste when by the way, I was pretty much amazed at how well the toothpaste thing worked. I will tell you, however, that after about, this is now many years ago, but after about 3 to 4 weeks of claiming I was not ever going to use a drug, because, well, that's just not the way I was, since we use an alternative approach, I said there has to be a way of handling this poison ivy alternatively. After 1 month and trying, I'm going to say, 10 different ways to try to deal with this, every one of the ways dealt with the itching component, but after a month, the poison ivy component just kept on going. So I said, you know what, let me write a prescription out for myself. And I wrote one out for what's called a Medrol dose pack. And that really is a steroid, something I don't ever like using. But after 1 month of trying to deal with this in a non-drug way, in 12 hours, a lot of that lesion was gone. By 24 hours, it was completely gone. And so I got to say that I've learned that when it comes to poison ivy, with respect to hastening the disease, not that itching component, all those things, including the toothpaste, actually worked fairly well, but nothing worked on getting this disease, the poison ivy disease. This one arm, this right-armed poison ivy, nothing really worked until I got the steroids. So even in the case of my office, when a patient comes in and they have a poison ivy issue, I always remember my own plight of many years ago, and remembered after 12 hours how it was gone, and by most of the itching and the lesion had gone away pretty much in 12 hours, but by 24, it was all gone. And so I don't hesitate at all when it comes to the poison ivy and the oaks and the Zumax to use Medrol dose packs in the office. Okay, another knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello, and welcome aboard.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
I was just going to mention about Willie Jean's May apple cream might be good for them.
Oh, that is our Willie Jean. Anything on the skin, Willie Jean would say that it would be benefited by Mayapple cream. And you know what? It may actually, now that I think about it, Mayapple's been studied, and it is actually had a potent pharmaceutical component to it. It's used as a basis for some anti-cancer drugs even. It may actually hasten the disease as an antiviral agent. So it's a good point. Willie Jean would scold me for not thinking of that one right out of the chute, but you remembered all too well. And I thank you for that bit of advice, ma'am. Mayapple cream will do it.
Okay, that's funny. Goodbye. Thank you.
Absolutely, sure. Mayapple. And they're plentiful. These Mayapples are very plentiful around here. Okay? When I finally saw one, I went, hey, I know what that is. I've seen that before. Never forget, that was on our little weed walk with Faith about a year ago. And, it was a pleasurable walk. Hey, here we are coming down that home stretch. Anything on your mind is okay with me. 412-825-6262. Any other further advice for that lady with the 8-year-old child? It would be itching, viral lesions. And now that you mentioned Mayapple, may actually have an effect on the virus itself, as well as the itching component. We have had an interesting week around here with Dr. Roy Carey here coming in to talk about thyroid disease. We got people banging on the door to get in here. I'm going to yield to them. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Go ahead.
A couple of weeks ago, you were talking about sugar. I think you were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's the sucrose, table sugar, and that it's made by two components that makes that molecule of sucrose. One component is fructose, the other is glucose. That was my point.
Yeah, and I couldn't get to the phone to contribute that day. So since you have this open forum today, I just thought I'd shoot this in. And a lot of people, I watch a lot of programs on nutrition, and they seem to skirt this issue of a disaccharide versus a monosaccharide, and comparing the corn syrups to regular sugars, and they're sort of just like saying, well, basically it's the same thing, but there are significant differences, and I didn't recall hearing you discuss the glycemic index and the recognizable ability of the body to glucose, which is absolutely true, but the glycemic index of glucose is very high where fructose is very low, and I lean more to using fructose, but not high fructose corn syrup, and nobody out there that I know of actually defines what high fructose corn syrup is. Yeah, and I think all it is about 1% more fructose than regular corn syrup. You know, you got high fructose corn syrup, corn syrup, disaccharide sucrose, then you have crystalline fructose, and then you have glucose. And I think a lot of people, including nutritionists out there from the University of Pittsburgh, are very confused.
Well, I can appreciate that. Now, I just turned to my notes. I picked them up talking about the issue with fructose, the fact that this table sugar breaks down these two simple sugars, one a fructose molecule, the other the glucose. The glucose is the preferred sugar by all these metabolic processes, and so
yes,
that.
But it's also white lightning, whereas fructose across the mucosa of the intestines is very slowly absorbed. It's sort of time released, and therefore its glycemic index is extremely low. So if I had a choice of the two, I would use the fructose, but like you said, the body does recognize glucose very rapidly, but it is like too rapid. And in fact, in nature, you won't find glucose isolated. It's only the chemistry of man that has isolated it, and it is truly white lightning.
Well, feast on this, because the component of fructose might be a sugar that you say would be beneficial in terms of the metabolic issue, but what is found with the metabolism of fructose that's not found with glucose, and here they come. Uric acid production is increased tremendously with fructose and can be known to lead to high blood pressure by inhibiting nitric acid formation. Blood vessels lose their elasticity, and that is how the blood pressure rises. This happens within minutes of ingesting sugar. Within minutes, you get a uric acid buildup with fructose.
Okay, that's part of the biochemistry cascade. I definitely have not explored.
Yeah, that was the one that made me bring it to the attention of listeners, because that's one that has never been thought of. At least I had never seen that written before.
But I will say that in some high-quality nutritional products, they have gone to crystalline fructose, and crystalline fructose apparently behaves a little differently than a liquefied form like you get in a corn syrup.
Well, I'll do some more research on this when you do it too. We'll have a meeting of the minds someday in the near future. Fair enough?
Sounds great. So have a happy 4th of July.
Have a great 4th of July yourself.
All right. Good day.
Gentleman always has very... bongos in the background. Sorry for those of you we just couldn't get you in here. Look, you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy our repeat show on Monday with Dr. Roy Carey. I'll see you on Wednesday. Till then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.